in a few minutes. But take it in, Shabbat Shalom. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem, Nachamu.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
We are going to ease into our Shabbat this evening by lighting our candles. As you got a hint just now, tonight is the start of Shabbat Nachamu, which is the Shabbat that happens right after the day of Tisha B'Av, exactly 7 weeks before the start of the high holiday season. Now, Tisha B'Av, it isn't, I guess it's a holiday, but it's more a day of commemoration, a day of mourning, really, in the Jewish psyche. It is the day that marks the destruction of our holy temple in 586 BC, many, many, many years ago, and then again in 70 CE, still many, many years ago. And it's the day when we just take stock of all of the tragedies, all of the sadness, all of the suffering that has truly happened throughout Jewish history. Traditionally, we read the book of Lamentations. Some of you who are here with me studied Lamentations earlier this week as we celebrated Tisha B'Av. But what does it mean that we're now entering into Shabbat Nachamu? What does Nachamu mean? Well, Nachamu means it's a Shabbat of comfort. After we have kind of honored this hard day where we've thought about all of the suffering and the pain that has befallen our people throughout the ages, from the beginning of time to right now, right? Of course, after October 7th. It's a time, this Shabbat, for us to just seek some comfort, some solace from God. All Shabbats are always like that, but more than any other Shabbat, this is the time to do it. So I'm so glad that you have decided to join this community for Shabbat. May you find comfort, may you find peace, and may you find hopefully joy in being together as a community. We're so glad that you're here. We're going to open our Shabbat service by lighting our candles now, and I'd like to invite forward Trisha Roth, one of our longtime members, and she just celebrated an anniversary of her bat mitzvah. So let's honor that as we light together. Our candle blessings are on page 2.
We ask for a peace like angels over us. We're on page 24, Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Bimelev, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelev, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelev, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Seitchem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelev, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
This is a poem by Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt as we approached Tisha B'Av. We began our descent toward the rubble. Our hearts cracked open and sorrow came flooding in. Help us to believe that tears can transform, that redemption is possible, the walls will come down. Open our eyes, give us the strength not to look away. Take a few moments now for Hazarat HaShavua. It's a time for you to review your week, reflect either on the words I just shared with all of you or whatever you need to think about over the coming minutes as we welcome Shabbat. We'll take a few minutes. We'll turn out to page 20 for Lechado D as we get ready to welcome our Sabbath bride. We're going to start by singing, and then as we get toward the end, you'll notice our hands rise, and that is your cue to rise your body and face the entrance as we welcome our Sabbath bride. Page 20. opportunity to truly listen to the oneness that unites us all. You've all decided to spend your start of Shabbat here in community. I wonder why you did that. Maybe it's because you wanted to be with other Jews. Maybe it's because you wanted to hear the sound of all of our voices coming together, and you thought that might bring you some comfort this Shabbat. Well, Shabbat is the perfect opportunity to really focus in on that, saying, listen, we are the people of Israel, and you, God, you are our God.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael.
Which is really a song both about freedom and about miracles. It's about the freedom that we assumed when we crossed the Red Sea, and finally we're slaves no longer, but it's also about the miracle that happened in the first place. that there was a burning bush, that Moses stopped to notice it, that we traveled through our entire Exodus tale and made it to the other side. So I'm imploring us, I'm asking us, as we're singing Micha Mocha, perhaps think about the miracle that it is that you're here right now. You made it to the end of another week. It can be really hard to get to the end of another week, but you have done it, and let us celebrate that together. Micha Mocha is on page 40.
This version has a part for you, so let's celebrate the miracle that everybody can sing.
Yes.
And we will help you back and forth, but bring your voices to this song. You'll see. Micha This is an opportunity for you to think about those in your life or those in our world who could use some healing of the mind or the body or the soul. We'll begin by singing Mishaberach together. It's on page 253. And we invite Suri to our Bima to help lead it with us. This is a good, what's the word? Reminder, hit plug to join our intergenerational choir, register for religious school, and you too can be just like Suri.
We'll start by singing Mishaberach together along with Suri, and then we'll in the middle have an opportunity to share the names of who you're thinking about
and then we'll close by singing again together.
Let's start over. Here we go.
Our community is thinking about Grace Blaustein, Eitan Chaim, Woody Clark, Judy Fenton, Gerald Feinerman, Wendy Fisher, Shelley Fisher, Tanaz Fulati, Shir Gaon, Katie Hurley, Eric Innocenti, Marianne Klieger, Leah Marissa Bad Rivka Adina Yaakov Ruvain, Brian McMullen, Sarah Moran, Monroe Peterson, Rob Porper, Howard Rosen, Lindy Sobel, Marvin Sobel, Mahbouba Suleimani, Sepide Suleimani, Louis Soto, Yehudit Bat Nechama Mordechai, Helena Wachtel, Freddie Wolf, Andy Wu, Shala Zagi, Andrew Zeiger, and Howard Zellicoe.
Adrian Schaeffler and O. Berman. Just some jazz fingers.
We'll turn now to page 46 as we get ready to pray our Amidah. We'll begin by singing together Adonai Sivatai Tiftach, open up our lips so that we may pray and that God may hear us. And then after we're done singing that, we'll take time for our own silent prayer. You can use the words in the prayer book. You can use the words of your heart. We'll stand now, and whenever you are finished with your silent prayer, you can be seated. So you can stand now. Please rise.
Tevilat after the pandemic, we did a service called Out of the Darkness, and it featured music only written in the pandemic. This is one of my favorite finds, Another Nachamu by Cantor Lori Akers. And it just shows that beauty and art and culture fester and build even in the most difficult times like now.
Shabbat Shalom, friends. This week, we read Parshat Ve'et Hanan, continuing the book of Deuteronomy, which is essentially one long speech that Moses delivers to the people Israel before they enter the Promised Land. God has already given the news to Moses that he will die before he or the people enter. So, Deuteronomy is essentially Moses' swan song of advice and reflection. I love this part of Torah because I have always felt that Deuteronomy reads more like an epic novel rather than an ancient religious document that it actually is. Let me set the scene. A vast, arid desert stretching as far as the eyes can see. A great leader stands on the border between life and death. Up to this point, Moses has guided his people tirelessly and advocated for them when God or other tribes wanted to destroy them. Moses has lived inside of his emotions, from anger to fear to self-doubt to confusion. He has felt it all. This week, the emotions that bubble up for him are frustration and sadness. He is truly struggling with the knowledge that he will never get to enter this promised land. And he has been pleading with God for God to change God's mind. Moses begins Ve'et Hanan by recounting to the people, I pleaded with Adonai, saying, Oh God, you who let me see the first works of your greatness and your mighty hand, you whose powerful deeds no no other God in heaven or on earth can equal. Let me please cross over to the Jordan and see the other side. Moses is essentially buttering God up, right? Hoping that by some stroke of God's ego, God will budge. But we continue reading Moses' words, and he is lamenting to the people. God said to me, enough. Never speak to me of this matter again. God comes off here like an angry or an annoyed parent, tired of his nagging child. And we can empathize with Moses here too, right? In his elder years, he's not quite ready to give up. He's been with his people through, and he thinks he's entitled to see them enjoy the fruits of his hard work. God is not completely unfeeling in this scene, because God gives Moses a sort of consolation prize here. Although Moses won't get to enter the promised land, God at least gives Moses the gift of being able to see it. God tells Moses, go up to the summit of Pisgah and gaze out to the west, to the north, to the south, to the east. Give Joshua his instructions and imbue him with strength and courage, for he shall go as the head of this people, and he shall allot to them the land that you will only ever get to see. See what I mean? There's a lot to dissect here. I feel like I'm summarizing a movie or a TV show or a book rather than Torah. I can picture Moses as the main character looking ahead of him under the orange glow of a waning sunset, dramatic music playing in the background, a legacy laid bare before our beloved protagonist as our hearts break alongside his. One reason this scene reads like a dramatic story to me is because of how fantastical it truly is. None of us get the gift that Moses gets here. None of us ever completely know when our time on earth is about to end, and we definitely never have the opportunity to see into the future, to gaze ahead and glimpse at how the generations to come might benefit from everything we did during our lifetimes. Perhaps this is why Rabbi Eliezer in Talmud Shabbat taught his disciples, repent one day before death. When his disciples asked him about the fact that most people never know that they're on the brink of death, he answered, certainly that's true. Then a person should repent today, for tomorrow they might die. All our days should be about repenting. The lesson of this piece of Talmud and of our Torah portion this week, then, is that we have to prepare for our legacy each and every day, because we only have right now, for sure. Only right now are we alive, and thus only right now do we know that we have the opportunity to still create the legacy before us. As I shared earlier in our service, this Shabbat is Shabbat Nachamu, which means we are only 7 weeks away from the high holidays. I think it's no coincidence that Parshat Ve'etchanan and truly all of Deuteronomy focuses on the themes of life and death, reflection and preparation. The stories of this time implore us to get into the habit, to get us ready to look inward. They call upon us to model ourselves off of Moses, who in expressing his feelings shows us what it is like to strive toward greatness despite our shortcomings, and to prepare for a future that might turn out different from what we expect or from what we hope. We don't all have God telling us to climb to the top of a mountain and gaze upon the land before us like Moses has, to see the future that we're leaving behind that has been shaped by our actions up until this point. But in a sense, isn't the Jewish tradition at this time of year kind of the same thing? This Shabbat, let us begin getting into the mindset of our Torah portion. I wonder, how did you show up this past year? Where did you fall short? And is there something you can do to fix it over the next 7 weeks? Let us take the Et Hanan, its lessons, as a first date. The holidays are coming, and there's no time like the present to ground yourself in the now while looking ahead to create the future you want to see for yourself, but also for the generations to come. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Just as the house gets filled, we close our service.
We continue with Aleinu, page 282.
Please rise. If you're new here to Temple Emanuel, by the way, we now do the top Hebrew on page 282, and then we'll go to 287. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekenu l'leotzeh bereshit, shehu l'oteh shamayim v'yasir haaretz, u'moshav yikaro hashamayim rimal, u'shchinatu zo b'gobhem meromim, hu Eloheinu Eino, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. 27. V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
You may all be seated. We'll take time now to recite our mourner's Kaddish, to think about those who were once in our lives but who are no longer here with us. Before we do so, everyone will have an opportunity to share who they're remembering today. So if you are here in the first week of mourning, I'll invite you to rise and share who you might be thinking of tonight. If you're here in the first 30 days of mourning, I'll invite you to rise and share who you are remembering. Our community is remembering Helene Hale and Gary Rosenblum, who passed away in the last 30 days. If you're here observing a yard site, I'll invite you to rise now and share who you're thinking of. If you're here in the first year of mourning, I'll invite you to rise now.
Father Cordalman.
My son, Steve. Scott Morris.
Tonight, our temple community is observing the yard sites of Rachel Abraham, Rachel Franco, Estelle Kindell, Harry Meisenberg, Jason Alberts, Robert Goodman, Regina Kluger, Mary Raffel, Harold Ammerman, Rose Goodman, Alan D. Levy, Maurice Rappaport, and Ricardo Weitz. So now I will invite everyone to rise. We rise as one community because there are so many who do not have someone to say mourner's Kaddish for them. There's so many who have passed away in recent years of violence, of disease, and of course so many in and around the state of Israel. Our mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yitkadal b'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach irtei be'amlich malchutei, B'chayachon u'b'yomechon u'b'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, B'agala u'b'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shnei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei L'Kudusha B'richu. Ve'elah mikol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiram ve'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav. Huya Aseh Shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol Yishbitenu. V'imru. Amen. Zikronam livracha. May all of their memories be for a blessing.
Amen.
May all be seated.
Before I forget, because I didn't put this on our list, next Friday night, services will be at Temple Isaiah for our joint High Village Shabbat. All are welcome. You know, it might be interesting, even if you are not 55 or older, to come, number one, just to be immersed in this unbelievable community of over 250, that's people or families? People. 250 people between Temple Isaiah and Temple Emanuel. Come learn a little bit about High Village. It's like everybody knows a baby. Everybody knows people that are 55 and older, as we are an aging nation. But honestly, I feel like a lot of people, I'm not ready for High Village, et cetera, et cetera.
High Village does the coolest events for people. And so it's our community between Temple Isaiah and Temple Emanuel for those ages 55 and up. And honestly,
it's programming for people who want to age in place. You can be in your home and go to a million activities.
Honestly, the level of programming that High Village has makes me exhausted just reading their newsletter. Truly, they do such cool things: virtual tours, sports, music, book, everything you can imagine. And so, if you're curious about High Village, or if you just want another really moving Shabbat experience next Friday night, please join us for that service.
We'll be a part of it. It's their Jazz Shabbat, so they have their band. Trivia would be that Rabbi Stephen Carr-Rubin is the head of their band, if you know him from Kehillat Israel. But I think it's 6:15, just like ours. Point is, don't come here. You'll be very lonely. And then I'll do my other big announcement, which is that Joni Mitchell Shabbat. Our Shabbat concert this year is Joni Mitchell. Listen, I thought I knew Joni Mitchell. It's hard to sing her songs. Like, she spits a lot of words into short phrases, and it's going to be hard to figure out which song to do to which melody. But if you have ideas, and if you have like your top hits, yes, I have, Circle Game and Both Sides Now, River, I'm just saying my favorite, Help Me, Woodstock, any other, what'd you say? Cactus Song. It's so funny that you say that, because just today it was coming up. It's not in her top 20 at all, but maybe it's on your top 20. But anyways, it's September 6th, so normally we do this before Labor Day, but this time, because high holidays aren't until October 2nd, I got a little more time. So September 6th, you have to RSVP, you have to buy tickets, there's a big dinner. It's my favorite event, one of my favorite events of the year. How many people have been to Welcome Back Shabbat? Yep. Elton John, we've done Aretha Franklin, we've done Carole King, we've done Stevie Wonder, we've done Beatles, Mamma Mia, I'm sure I'm forgetting. Anyways, but RSVP, because it sells out every year.
My announcement is that religious school and ECC registration is open. If you know any young children, actually, we accept children of all ages. Our ECC is 2 to 5. Our religious school is ages 4 to 18. So if you know kids, send them our way. Registration is open. Religious school starts in 3 weeks, and I think ECC starts in about 2 weeks. And ECC is our preschool Monday through Friday program. Religious school meets on Sunday. We really want to see your children. You can come talk to me. You can come talk to Tanaz. Raise your hands in the back. And we want to make this happen for you.
I also just want to say we're really excited. Our playground is having a major renovation. Luckily, there's no construction on Shabbat. But I actually have not seen it today, but I know it's ever changing. So be on the lookout. Oh, this is my favorite announcement. Every Tuesday, read your highlights, right? I should say, co-president Kara Corwin, will you come say hi to everyone? and tell them to read their highlights? Come
Just
on.
read their highlights.
Read your
Read the highlights.
Karen and I are going
Keep
to
it simple.
We're gonna make hats that say "Read your highlights," and everyone's gonna wear baseball caps during high holidays, and then maybe they'll finally know what highlights are. But the point is, read your highlights. That's our weekly newsletter. It comes out every Tuesday. Every Thursday, hopefully you saw a beautiful message from Rabbi Albin yesterday, and details about the services this weekend, and reflections from last week. If you missed my 38-minute Israel sermon and you want to catch up or fast forward, you'll hear about my trip to Israel. Are we missing anything else? Is anybody here for the first time and would like to introduce yourselves? We'd love to know you. Okay, or if you have not been here, or if you have not been here for a long time and want to, let us welcome you back.
People just stand up.
Okay. Well, nobody online will see you, but that's all right. Okay.
I'm Charlene London, and I normally go to Temple Kiva, Culver City, but they're doing a beach Shabbat today.
It's not for you.
Glad to be here, thank you.
We won't tell her husband.
My husband's a rabbi at Temple of Kiva.
It's all right.
We're glad you're welcome.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Rosalind Myers. I'm here with Charlene. I'm Temple Kiva also.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Scott Chavez, first time here.
Welcome.
Gershon Gable, first time here. I'm coming from Santa Monica.
Well, that's a long way at night.
Yes, my name is Drew Rosen. I'm dragging Gershon to every synagogue in Los Angeles. Leon Owens invited us this evening. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it because he's dealing with some health stuff.
Yeah, Leon's usually here.
So send out your prayers for Leon.
Yes, we will, absolutely. Thank you for coming. Is that it?
Thank you for
Okay.
having us.
Then I'm going to invite up some kids, even Dora does, well, if she wants, she doesn't want to. Suri, Esti, Basha, anybody else want to come up? Alma? No. Okay, join us. We are going to close our service. By the way, yes, thank you to Tanaz, who's in the back, our Director of Membership and Engagement. Thank you to Juan, who is guarding the street. Thank you to Adrian, who helps us set up this entire temple. And Elizabeth on piano, because we are so blessed to have her. So, I guess we're just going to have Bosch and Suri. Esti, no? Okay. We're going to close with Oseh Shalom. Put your arms around each other. You guys each want a mic? All right. You want to go sit and go get All right. Oseh Shalom, which is on the same page, but a lot of you don't need. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. And
Shalom Bimrama, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom Bimrama, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom Bimrama,
it looks like we're just doing Kiddush back there. Motzi, because I don't see any wine. But thank you to Michelle Aaron for making delicious challah. So, Tanaz, will you put your hand on the challah or bring it closer? You can reveal the challah. Whoa!
Freshly baked by Michelle Aaron.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, v'te'am. Shabbat Shalom. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the chapel.
Only able to cut a bunch of it, but share. Thank you for taking me around town. Enjoy, guys.
I wondered if she could.
I got the big
Like
one.
to taste her.
No, I didn't.
Oh, sure. Of course. No. Go ahead. Sure. Temple hoppers. Hi. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you for having us.
So, like, where have you been? Tell me about all your hopping.
Well, I come from the Republic of Emanuel.
We start our tour.
How are you? It's like dad this week. I'm mom this week. I love it. How did you bought some new clothes because of you? Oh, yes. Do you like them?